10 minus the late Sammy Wanjiru, and it brings a tear to our eye to realize that Sammy's no longer with us. But to remember, Lalessa, the 20-year-old, was right with those guys at the 24-mile mark. So feels comfortable being with the leaders this deep. The question we have, can they stretch it all the way to Grant Park? And right now, Kevin, step.
Well, right now, he's at a 2:04:37 pace. That is, the course record is held by Moses Mosop last year, 2:05:37. So a full minute ahead of the Chicago Marathon record pace.
I'll tell you what's coming into focus now is the fastest time in the world this year, 2:04:15 by Jeffrey Mutai last week in Berlin, and that controversial finish in the German capital. Well, these guys, if they keep motoring, banging in these miles around 4:30, 4:34, we might see that course record improved by a lot more than a minute.
Well, right now it looks like Lalessa is just content to run behind. And as I say that, he moves to the front.
But Kibet is such a stubborn little man. Look at that. The guy pulls alongside him and he surges again, gets his head down, pushes harder once more, and side by side now. And look how quickly the gap's opening up on the guys behind.
Lalessa was racing here in the States, and earlier in this year won the Houston Half Marathon 59:22. That was a good sign for him. That was way back in January. But he's got an amazing race going here and a great duel with Kibet.
Lalessa was the youngest marathon runner at the age of 20 years old to break 2:06. He did that in Rotterdam. He's going to blow that one away.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Lalessa does win here, the taller of these two, it'll be some consolation for the sort of double cross he feels was done to him earlier in the year. The Federation promised to select him for the Olympic team after he was third in the World Championships in Daegu last year. He didn't do Dubai in January because of that reassurance, and then they went ahead and picked the three guys who ran really quickly in Dubai.
Yeah, I got to think the Ethiopian Federation right now is saying, what were we thinking? Why did we not put Kibet and Lalessa on that team? Because they are demonstrating the talent that they have.
Well, now there's a little bit of gap, perhaps for the first time, or is this Lalessa taking a breather?
All right, let's go check out the women for a second. Joan?
We have the three Kenyan women in the lead, Kabu, Rotich, and Jeptu. They're running together. They're running as a team, I think, at this point. Back is Besa, and not too far behind is Lilia. She has not given up the ship yet, but she's going to have to make up some serious ground to catch this triangle of women. They look very comfortable. They all look very comfortable. Perhaps the most comfortable at this point is Rita.
Joni, very hard for Lilia to come back at this stage when you've got three like this working against each other and beginning to race. And as we've seen in the men's affair, the tempo increases.
I'm not so sure, though, Tim, because what's happening is Lilia's reeling in the women who are falling off. So if Besa continues to fall back again now, she made a surge, and now she seems to have lost that momentum. If she falls back, and Lilia realizes it, that she's coming off that back end of the other three, she could still pull it off. We know what she has for speed at the finish line. But I'll tell you, this group of three looks very strong right now. And Lucy is really, really pushing the pace, but the other two don't want to drop off. It's going to be a great race here as well.
5:21 for the last mile. Thank you, Joan. And let's go back to the men again. A two-man race. 4:43 the last mile.